finished. We did it.
It's over.
A full day worth of Survivor. I think in total, it's probably like over a day in terms of actual length. But
yeah, because some of the episodes
end.
are like, it balances out because some of the episodes were like 48 minutes. Some of them were like an hour and 20 minutes. So part of me expected David to have a stat on that.
Nope.
But nope. Anyway, hi, everyone. Welcome to the Cup TV, part of the Currently Unnamed Podcast Network, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Gay. I have got some tea because I'm here talking all about the tea on this finale episode of Australian Survivor. It's in my wonderful pink flamingo mug here today because I needed a whole lot of it. But what I also need a whole lot of is my cup mug. Ooh, fancy. LanaGCreations.etsy.com. That link is down in the description below. Check it out.
Well, I'm David Healy, and I am riding 2 dragons.
Yeah. I was wondering where the hell you were going with that because there were so many options. Riding dragons was never getting there.
Yeah, I got my 2 dragons here.
You've never looked straighter in your entire life.
I almost said thank you, but I don't think that's a compliment.
It wasn't.
It definitely wasn't.
No.
But I'm drinking some water.
Hello. My name is Jack. I'm the resident game designer of the panel. And the gays won, and that's all I fucking care about.
Well, the queers.
Well, the queers. I have coffee. In case you can't tell how that's how my day is going. It is 7:58 p.m. as we record this. I have a shift in 11 hours. 13. I don't know how clocks work. Logan, please help go.
Math? No.
No.
Don't
Not with
make me
clocks.
do this. No.
No.
But we made it. It is indeed the finale of Australian Survivor, Brains versus Brawn 2. Many incredibly wonderful things. New records have been set this season. Men in the finale.
Nothing wrong with it.
How groundbreaking.
It is for Australian Survivor.
Sure is.
It is for Australian Survivor, and I think globally it's not. I mean, granted,
it's not.
Any sort of.
That's the end of the statement.
Any sort of single gender is incredibly uncommon, but if it does happen, it's primarily been just pure men.
Yeah,
and that's why we kicked Lana out of the podcast today, because it's all not exactly men, but
it's
no
only
women
allowed
allowed
in the United States. So, we can't complain. If it happens this infrequently, can't complain.
Yeah.
Especially when it's 3 highly capable and skilled and entertaining people.
Yes. Yeah. We have our final 3. We're going to talk about this finale where, it's a finale. There's a lot of fluff. It's a fluffy little finale. So we're going to talk about all of it. Before we do, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things competitive reality TV. And here at the Cup TV and across all of the Cup Network channels, we are trying to hit 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. So every new subscriber means we can do some fun, exciting, cool things to improve the channel. So all of your support means the world to us. Make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, as well as our other YouTube channels and our Patreon for exclusive content and early access, all that wonderful stuff. We start, and it is, montage.
Recap.
Mm-hmm. The lovely overview of the entire season, and these are the final 3. Gonna be honest, out of the final 3, I would have only expected Caitlyn. The other two logically should not be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially early on. It didn't seem like Miles or AJ would make it past the pre-jury phase.
Mm-hmm.
But Caitlyn always seemed like somebody who would do well. He seemed like somebody who always had their pulse on the tribe, which is something to account for sure.
Most definitely. Yeah, I'm not 100% surprised that Miles made it because of just how scrappy his game has been. I've been really impressed with him. I don't know how the hell AJ made it. Truly, I don't know how the hell that man made it. Because I thought he should have been voted out literally weeks prior. But, they all made it. Good for them. Wonderful. And we pretty quickly go just to the final immunity challenge, which is not as horrible as, past final immunity challenges on Australian Survivor, i.e. Cage of Death. I always think of Cage of Death.
Yeah. First, Brains versus Brawn, right?
Literally.
Yes. This is a lot less saw trappy.
Indeed.
I like that they're always doing endurance, though. Like, that's the way you do a final immunity challenge. Just make them will it out as much as they can. So, and I thought the setting was really cool when we entered in there. I'm like, ooh, it's a bamboo jungle. I feel like I'm in the Minecraft world.
Loved it. I loved it.
This,
so much.
I think the most beautiful, like straight up wallpaper levels.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
Like final challenge I've ever seen for any show. Like I genuinely was just like, oh my God, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. So it's, as David alluded to at the start, hold on to your dragons.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, hold on to your dragons. Stand on the pegs for as long as you can.
Mm-hmm. And we meet some friends and family first. So we had Miles' best friend, Ollie, come out. I was like, is that his boyfriend? But no, it was not. I think Miles is single. I don't know. Then we have...
I mean, if he is, hey. It's not just because you're $500,000 richer, but hey. I do enjoy bisexual pole dancers, so hey.
AJ's friend Bill comes out. And then Caitlyn's mom, Lydia, comes out. So... And AJ tells Bill, 100% I'm winning if I make it to the end. I've got this.
Yeah.
And I'm probably getting to the end. I was rooting so hard for his downfall this episode.
I've been rooting for that man's downfall for weeks at this point.
Especially this episode. But I just wanted to see him lose a jury vote so badly, though. That's how I wanted it to go.
Just unanimous against AJ. I would have loved,
because if he gets voted out, then he'll always have that. Ooh, I would have won if I was there. So that would be worst case scenario.
It's just the fear that I have, and I even said this yesterday. If AJ wins, congratulations, we have 5 Nashes on the next season. Like this will continue forever because it worked. Even if it shouldn't have. So we need AJ not to win for the sake of Australian Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then, I mean,
they do the challenge.
We have a nice, lovely montage of them being in pain for a long time. Like a really long time.
Yeah, JOP gave some interesting stats. He said first time final three or final challenge is all men, which, okay, we already figured that out. But he also said this is the first time that it's all people from the same starting tribe. I'm like, really? That's actually pretty wild. That's never happened before.
That is actually really interesting. Yeah. I mean, I guess we just never consider it.
Mm-hmm.
Because normally people run cross tribal lines at the merge, but in this case, for reasons unrelated to anything, it just never happened.
And at first I was like, that's not true. Season 1, but I just forget, like, Elle, Lee, and Christy weren't always on the same tribe. They ended up like switching to the same tribe when it switched into 2 tribes. But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I guess they weren't on the same starting tribe.
Yeah. And by the way, we are also ignoring Australian Survivor 2002 in the statistic.
Yeah.
But I mean, so does everyone.
Right.
Who? I don't know her.
Although some people call this season 12. It's not season 12. It's season 10. It is the 10th version of this iteration of Australian Survivor. The only one that matters.
Indeed. Indeed and indubitably. So we're going through the challenge. All 3 of these guys seem very, very, very solid.
Do they?
Until Miles drops.
Well, no, the whole time I'm like, Miles, because he's just like twisting and leaning and contorting himself.
David, that was sarcasm, my love.
Okay. Because I was like, the whole time I'm like, Miles, I'm expecting you to win this, and you're
all 3 of them are solid, and by that I mean Kaylin and AJ are solid, and Miles is not.
Right. Yeah, this challenge was not made for short people. Like, straight up, Miles was never going to win this challenge because his legs weren't long enough. And that does suck to see at the end, where it's not endurance, it's endurance plus having long legs. Because Kaylin and AJ, right around the same height, Miles, at least significantly short enough to where it's an issue.
You would think that they would space them out like proportionate to their heights. Also, I think it's worth pointing out one person had an advantage in this challenge. I don't know if you all noticed this, but if you've got bandages on your feet, you've got something you can rest on. Like that, it does not feel the same to stand on bamboo when you have a bandage on your foot as it does with your bare foot. So I was like, they should have given everybody one bandage on one foot just to even the playing field.
That's fair.
And it was AJ who had the bandage for viewers that didn't catch it.
Yeah. So Miles does drop. I forget at what
2 hours and 25 minutes.
Yeah,
Not
2
bad.
hours 25, which is really good. He went for literally as long as he could, which is what we said like yesterday. He was going to go for as hard as he could, but
I'm glad all 3 of them did. Frankly, like I hate when, you know, and it doesn't happen very often on Australian Survivor. I will say that I hate when people don't give their all in a final immunity challenge. It's just like, for what reason? Like for what reason? I don't get it. But yeah, so Miles drops after 2.5 hours ish. So it's Kaylin and AJ.
Mm-hmm. And immediately AJ's like, Kaylin, you should step down. Let me take you to the end. That way you don't have to break your promise to Miles. We'll just make it easy. And I'm like, AJ, weren't you just like a couple hours ago telling JLP that you hope Kaylin gets another win? What happened to that?
Right. Like, baby.
But it was smart. It was smart to try to get
it was. Yeah. Oh, it absolutely was.
He wanted to get his bucket list immunity challenge win. I'm like, you're really reheating Miles's nachos from last episode where he said, that's my bucket list. Now AJ's like, it's my bucket list now.
And you know what, baby? You ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna get it. Unless they bring you back on another season, which they might.
Yeah.
But you ain't gonna get it. They both did look very, very solid. I appreciate the amount of effort that they both put in. But all of a sudden, AJ slips.
Mm-hmm.
Like it feels very sudden. 3 hours something in?
3 hours something. Yeah. He doesn't even shift. Like everyone is just like, oh. And we're done.
And there's Kaylin.
In that moment, I was like, oh, I think Kaylin just won. I think Kaylin just won the season.
Oh. I thought it was possible.
Yep.
But yes, Kaylin wins a record. He broke his own record again. 8 immunity.
7.
Was it 7?
Yes,
7 total.
7 immunity wins.
Which, just to be clear, gets him fully out of the asterisk mark with Brooke. Yeah. Technically, Brooke won 6 if you count the pre-merge individual immunity, but...
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes, technically.
I thought it was one of her 5.
It's a separate 6.
But also, they confirmed like this is a record internationally too. So
yes, which is incredible.
I love it.
I did want to point out, while the challenge was going on, there was a part where AJ was talking to Lydia, Kaylin's mom, and was just really talking about how great of a person Kaylin was. And I'm like, that's so sweet. Like, where has this guy been? I want to see more of this AJ just being really nice, hyping up Kaylin. Right. And we'll see if he keeps hyping up Kaylin throughout the rest of the episode.
Well.
So if Kaylin wins, he's going to Final 2. He's doing all the things. And we pretty much go straight to Tribal.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I don't know if they did. I'm assuming they had some time to chat, but if they did, we didn't get to see it.
Yeah. So we go to Tribal. Miles and AJ are making their pitches as to why Kaylin should pick them, and Kaylin is just, he can't decide.
All right.
He literally pulls them aside and he's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I thought their pitches were pretty good. Miles was like, he's like, everybody respects AJ on the jury. Like, he's such a tough person to go against. But meanwhile, I don't know if Kaylin noticed the reactions from the jury, but people were like, what? We respect AJ?
Right.
But then AJ just completely lays out. He's like, Miles has broken 6 different records and proceeds to go and tell each one of the records. And I'm like, well, this is an extremely compelling case for Miles to win. So this is starting to seem like a no-brainer of who you should cut.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, you should cut the person who has all of the jury's respect, has done all of the big moves, has weaseled his way to the end of the game. You should cut Miles. You should cut Miles, right? Yeah, Kaylin. Yeah, you should. Kaylin,
go with your
you
heart.
You should cut Miles.
Kaylin, you know what to do. You should. You can't. Oh, you voted out. What?
I was shocked. I was shocked for multiple reasons.
When the vote was read, and JLP says, and the final member of the jury, AJ, and me and every single member of the jury went,
what?
I said,
sorry.
Yeah, okay, cool. Kaylin's just lost $500,000. Like, what?
Yeah. Well, what really threw me off was, like, as we saw Kaylin go up and write, and we saw part of the letter, I'm like, why did they just give it away? They gave it away that he voted Miles. We saw the start of the M.
And
it was a weird sideways A that looked like an M.
I'm sure Kaylin knew what the fuck he was doing. There's no explanation otherwise for why he drew it like that. It is so blatant. It is like an A on like a full 30-degree tilt.
Yeah, like, is it possible he changed his mind? Like he started to write Miles and then it's like, no, I'm gonna make this M an A.
But
it's so
I'm not mad at it. I'm really not mad at it. This is actively like the best scenario.
Yeah, I agree, because these are definitely the two people that I wanted to see win.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm thrilled.
I'm gonna be very honest though. Part of me, for the past few weeks, I've been fighting with Jack, and I'm like, Kaylin does have a shot. So part of me just really wanted Kaylin to win, just so I could be like, I told you.
The thing is, I agree with you on every single level. Besides the edit, if he got
this is a edit.
No, this is a really bad edit where it's not focusing on him when it should be, and that's the part that pisses me off.
He seemed like a strong contender for the win from week one for me. Week one. And that was because of the edit.
Here's the thing. I definitely see where both of you are coming from with it. I think if he had more of a strong mid-game edit, I think I would agree with you a little bit more, David. I think the difficulty with Kaylin and the edit specifically is that we got a good amount of goofy Kaylin at the start to set up the fact that ultimately he's the runner-up, because we have to show enough of Kaylin to make sure that people remember that he's in the game and relevant to the game for the entire game. I do wish we had seen more of him. I think one of the fatal flaws in this season, beyond the obvious one that we now know of because of production, whatever, mishandling of a significant person on this season, which I'm still very upset about that whole situation. I think one of the fatal flaws of this season, as far as editing is concerned, is not editing Kaylin in enough. I think we needed to see more of Kaylin. We do see a lot of Kaylin when it comes to merge. I am happy we see a lot more of Kaylin when it comes to merge. And I think he gets a winning edit from merge onwards. I do agree with you there, David, but I just don't think we saw a lot of him in the pre-merge portion of the game to justify seeing him as a winner.
Yeah, I mean, it was in the middle, like before the merge, that he talked about, oh, they see me as a golden retriever, but I've become, I forget what other kind of dog he said he is. But that's when that happened.
Shepherding dog.
Yeah, like a hunter or whatever. Yeah, but other than that moment, I don't really remember anything necessarily from him in the edit. I just remember him cracking the coconut and doing like the shot ski moment, which is the one moment we got from him in the montage that we see at the top of this episode. I think it's just a fatal flaw from production on that part, because I would have liked the edit to be a little bit less obvious at this point.
They did a much better job than they did the last two seasons.
I agree.
There was no way Carolyn was going to win, and there was 100%. No way Matt or Jerry were going to win.
100%. I agree with you completely on that part, because coming down to this episode, it was less obvious between the three of them who was going to win.
But honestly, that's only because we were able to piece together Kaylin's story and see his moves, even though it was like, oh, look at Miles. Oh, look at AJ. Kaylin is doing something really smart. Look at Miles. Look at AJ. That's the issue. If you know someone has a good shot at making the end or is just a finalist, give them an edit and show off their strategic gameplay, because Kaylin got screwed. But I mean, we're talking about AJ being voted out. Let's just move on. Let's move on, because we have other things. But this final two, This final 2 is so nice.
Yay!
And honestly, I feel like at this point, both of them have a very good shot.
Yes. I think they complement each other in that their games are not super similar, but there's enough cohesion in their games. And obviously they played a lot of the front, a good chunk of the front half and a lot of the back half of the game together, that there's enough cohesion to make Final Tribal interesting. And it certainly was. I really enjoyed this Final Tribal.
Yep. Are we there now?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Can we talk about these opening speeches? These are two of the best opening speeches I've heard, period.
Yes.
Both of them came out so strong. Kaylin first. I was like, Kaylin, you are laying out your game so well. And I'm not so sure, because I went into this episode thinking Miles was going to win. But when he gave his opening speech, I'm like, Kaylin, I really think you could win. And you could tell the whole jury was eating it up. They were smiling. They were happy to hear him just lay out all the details of his game so concisely. So I thought he started out really strong. And then we get into Miles, who also gets into this really, really strong speech about his game. And it's hard to not see like his underdog story that he had for most of the game and not want to root for that too. So I really did think this was going to be a toss-up at this point.
And then, Miles kind of almost perfectly battered back against Kaylin's, like, I played the perfect Survivor game going, and I played the most perfect game on this beach. Because he basically was like, yeah, no, I got a bunch of things thrown at me. I was always on the bottom, but I kept surviving and none of you could get rid of me. And that's your problem. So I really cannot complain about the variety here.
I think Miles was starting off the actual questions a little bit weaker because we got that first question from Kristen and she was talking about the 3 elements of what makes a survivor, and that's strategic game, social game, and challenge game. Tell me who was the best at each of those scenarios. And it is undeniable who, like, for the jury, for us, for the final 2, we all know the answer. We know the real answer. Miles straight up lied. Miles lied and tried to take ownership of 2 of those categories. Miles, you got strategic. You do not have social. We all know that. So I think that him even trying to force ownership of the better social game between himself and Kaylin was kind of bothering the jury. You could tell that none of them were buying it.
Can I also just say, and this is me jumping ahead for just a second, fuck AJ and his whole thing of like, those speeches are 2 of the worst things I've ever heard in my entire life. The fuck do you mean? The fuck do you mean? You're just petty that you got voted out at the very last fucking second before you would be sitting there and losing unanimously against either of them. So
Correct. It was, I think we even called it of like, AJ will 100% vote for the person who didn't vote him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was very obvious and it was very annoying.
Yeah. My biggest frustration here is that not everyone got to talk.
I'm sure they did.
And we just didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Because I would have liked to hear something, like, just with how much and how integral Polly was on the season, we heard nothing from him. With how integral Karin was, we got to hear very little from her. Like, we didn't hear really anything from her. I was just like, it was the edit of this was just a little frustrating.
Yeah.
And I think they were giving away what the jury felt a little bit too much. Like they were leading the witness for the audience. Yeah. Like, I think it was pretty obvious enough that Kaylin started to fumble things the more it went along. I didn't need all of the cringing from the jury to let me know that, because eventually it seemed like Kalen wasn't able to own any flaws in his game. Like, he really did seem to think he played a perfect game and there's nothing he would change. And I think the jury really respected Miles taking accountability for things he could have improved on, because you can always improve on your game.
Yeah.
And it was the question from, I believe it was Logan, that was like, if you had to, you wake up tomorrow, the game starts over, what would you do differently? And in that question and in another question, the way that Kalen was kind of like, I wouldn't do anything differently. I would play the exact same game. Like, I didn't want to come in making big game moves. I wanted to make smaller sort of moves to kind of make my way here, which is a good game. And like the permutation of that, the way he was talking about his game was correct and it was good. And like the way that he approached Survivor and the way that he thinks about it is absolutely correct. You're just sitting against someone that ultimately did outplay you. And ultimately for Kalen, he just made the wrong choice as far as who to sit next to. That argument does not work against Miles. It would have worked against AJ.
100. I fully believe that Miles beats Kalen, beats AJ.
100%.
Okay, maybe Miles versus AJ is a little bit more contentious, depending on how people are annoyed, but I still believe Miles beats AJ. Because, I mean, if AJ's jury question was anything to go by, and how much the jury ripped into people for saying things that were not necessarily the case or could be interpreted a different way, AJ was going to be ripped apart. But it really depends. I mean, I do think that Kalen also saying, like, basically, my game is repeatable. Like, you can 100% guarantee I'm here almost every single time, versus Miles, where it's a lot more random and chaotic. I do think that is a good argument, at least on the surface. But the issue that I have with it is just, and maybe this is something we just didn't really see in the edit, but Kalen's game is great. It is a good game of Survivor up against a really great game of Survivor that took risks. It is a safe option versus a risky but successful option. And that's the issue.
Yeah, it was bothering me how he kept saying my game is repeatable and I could do better more times than Miles, because I think that was focusing on hypothetical games when we're talking about this game now. Like, it doesn't matter how many games you could beat him. But I think my main issue was that he wasn't explaining why it was so repeatable. And I think the best Survivor winners, like pretty much all of them, are winners that played from the top consistently. We're always in control because they put themselves in control. And Kalen put himself in control. He was always with each group that was trying to develop, except for the all women group. But even then, he was kind of like their add-on for a little bit. He did such a good job of maintaining control and knowledge of what was going on. And that's what makes his game repeatable. So emphasize that. Don't emphasize hypotheticals. Just say, I did a really good job of positioning myself in a way that I was going to succeed no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really appreciate just how introspective Miles was throughout this entire final tribal. Like, fully acknowledging, like, I came in and I played too hard too fast. And I had to play from the bottom the entire time. Because I agree with you. I like players who are able to play dominant, play from the top, and maintain that. And if you can maintain that from the start of the game to the end of the game, like, that is very good. Like, that is successful. Like, that's impressive to me. But just as impressive to me is someone who can end up playing from the bottom and work their way to the end and win it. And
That's
why
fun and
Miles
flashy.
is just, it's fun, it's flashy, and that's just as fun to me, and I really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That is... I mean, is there anything else to talk about before we just reveal the vote?
Not really. I don't have anything else personally.
I don't either.
So, we get the votes. The family comes back out. And by the family, I mean the mom and the friend.
Oh, yeah, you're right. AJ's friend didn't come back.
AJ's friend does not need to be here anymore.
Honestly, this would have been a fun final three, I think.
Oh, all three of them at Final Tribal?
Yeah, I kind of think
all three of them at Final Tribal.
The problem is you couldn't have gotten this final three because I think if they knew it was going to be a final three, Zara wouldn't have gone.
If they knew it was going to be a final three, Zara 100% doesn't go. Also, I think Miles said online that they were told at like final 6 it was going to be a final 2.
Yeah, they were told.
Okay. Yeah. So the votes come down. We have a winner. And it's Miles.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Not unanimous.
No.
Definitely.
I don't think it should have been unanimous.
I don't think it should have been.
I'm not surprised by that one vote.
That one vote makes complete sense. Yeah.
The one vote made me realize, oh, this is going to be 7-1 because why would you show Kristen as the one vote of all people? Like there's other people that would have been more logical, I think, if they had voted for Caitlyn. So I'm like, I think this might be a landslide.
Mm. But I mean, for what a chaotic and messy season this was, it only makes sense for the winner of the season to be the person who has been playing the most on the bottom, the most scrappy, the most inventive the entire season. I mean, I genuinely can't be happier because this is out of every single person on the cast, I think I felt most represented by Miles, so I also can't complain about that. And I mean, this is a super fan fully getting to win out and play their perfect game. So cannot complain.
And now the Australian Survivor used to be a woman's game. Like the women dominated the victories on Australian Survivor, but with 3 of the past 4 winners being men, we are officially tied 5-5. So.
But now it's 6-4 in favor of the women and the gays. Well, women in the
there
buys.
We go. Yes.
Women in the buys. Yes, God.
We'll see if Australia versus the world can break the tie. I mean, obviously it will.
It's a separate franchise, though.
Is it?
So.
It's a weird spin-off where it's both a part of it and not for some reason. Like it's another season, but it's a 14 days.
So we're not calling it season 11.
Season 14 days. No, 16 days. 14 people. 8 women, 6 men. Cannot complain about the gender breakdown there. And I mean, that's gonna happen in like what, 2 months at this point?
Yeah, I think June.
Oh my God.
And it's a killer cast, so I think it's going to be. I probably like the cast more than anybody else on our panel because I know there's some people that annoy other people, but I don't have a problem with anybody on here.
I'll hope the people that are annoying get taken out relatively fast.
But most importantly, Lisa.
And Sari and Parvati, like
Shawnee,
literally, Shawnee.
Yes,
Sarah. I never thought we'd get Sarah again.
I never in my lifetime, never in my lifetime did I think we would get Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Rob from South Africa. Rob, so excited for Rob. Oh, so excited for Rob. So excited for Rob.
We'll have a video about it soon enough.
I think we're gonna have to do a. We'll have to do a cast assessment.
Yeah.
We'll have to.
We'll have to do a cast assessment, especially because I mean, for example, just on paper, it's like, wait, why are we bringing back someone who played in 2017 and only 2017? But Sarah has a lot more to her that people who haven't been watching it for long enough just don't know.
And same with Janine. And Janine played one season later and only played once. But honestly, Janine and Sarah have consistently been on my fan casting, like all-star seasons. Like I've wanted to see both of them back very much.
Oh, and the Golden Boy.
I mean, we have the Golden Boy and Parvati, so it will make it interesting.
Deal or No Deal Island.
Well, it's actually post.
Oh, is it?
It is post.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Julie. Well, with that, we do need to round out two things. One,
bam.
It's just Miles.
It's just Miles. Yeah.
He's one of us too, so.
Yes.
In more ways than one.
Yes, indeed. And two, Brooke won the draft without being here.
Well, they were here yesterday.
They were here once, and it was just the coronation round. So good for them.
And they were like, yeah, I watched a handful of episodes.
It's fine. It is what it is. Good for you. Whatever.
Congrats, Brooke.
But
at least I wasn't first out of the draft.
Yeah, that was me this time. But I'm happy that I got to final 5.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot complain about getting to the top, nearly the top 4th, over the top 4th of the season. So,
yeah.
That is it.
That was a short one.
It was
That's all.
That is
I mean, there
all.
isn't much to talk about otherwise. So that is that. That is that on this here season. So we're done. And we'll be back in a couple months for Australian Survivor Australia versus the world.
Woo!
So, thank you so much for joining us for our coverage of Australian Survivor all season long. Unfortunately, we were not able to get all 4 of us here to talk about this season all at once. But I hope you enjoyed all 4 of us talking intermittently about the people we like, the people we don't like, and Miles ultimately winning this crazy ass season of this crazy ass show that we love very dearly. If you want to check out all of the other words are very difficult today. If you want to check out all of the other, that's the word, all of the other shows we are currently covering here at the Cup TV, we've got Survivor 48. We've got Celebrity Big Brother UK. We've got the Challenge All Stars, which is literally wrapping up this week. We've got The Amazing Race. We've got to Get Out, which we're doing all in one little piece. So that's going to be, its own little mini series extravaganza. We've got a lot of other shows coming in the next couple of months. So stay tuned on this channel, as well as all of our other channels, for a lot of fun content coming down the pipeline. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when we put out all of our content, and make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, as well as our other YouTube channels, our Patreon, our social media, and where you can get your merch, including but not limited to Cup mug. And with all that being said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. So cheers.
Cheers.